Hey guys, so as promised before, I said that I was going to start doing little discussions on certain subjects, and I am starting it now. So please subscribe to the channel. Make sure you stay alert and notified for whenever I post a new video, guys. So we're going to be talking about hot topics that are happening and what we think about them, and the controversy behind them. So I'm gonna bring my friend up, and me and her is gonna have a debate. Eventually, it'll be more of us or different people that I'm gonna have conversations with. Okay, guys. So, Abundance is here, and we're gonna be discussing a few topics. Are you ready, Abundance? Are you ready?
Yeah, girl, I'm here.
Okay, so I wanted to talk about a few subjects that is going on now, okay, that I haven't had a chance to really discuss, but I wanted to get into it to see how you feel about what's going on now, okay? You ready for some of these questions?
Yep,
And I want your natural, honest opinion. Like, give it to me, give it to the crowd, okay?
Okay.
All right. So the first thing we're going to talk about is Will Smith. You heard about what happened with Will Smith, right?
Oh yeah, I actually saw it.
So you were watching the Oscars when it happened?
Yeah, and actually, I wasn't even planning on watching the Oscars. I was around some people's, and I was in and out of it, and then I saw when Chris Rock had the joke, did the joke, and
how'd you feel about the joke?
It wasn't crazy. That was my initial reaction. Like, I'm like, oh, like it wasn't. I wasn't falling down laughing either.
Right.
It was just like, oh, a little jab. Like those were because, like, when you're usually on shows like those, some of the jokes are brutal.
That's what I thought too. I thought it was funny. I mean, I didn't watch it live because I stopped watching it a long time ago. But it went viral really fast. Yeah. And when I rewatched it, I mean, it wasn't a diss. I watched G.I. Jane. G.I. Jane's a good movie. It's about a beautiful bald woman.
Now, the thing about it is, like, I knew that Jada had alopecia.
Oh, you knew?
I knew that because I caught a clip of the Red Table Talk because it's on Facebook, but I guess like a clip of it or an ad was on where she was describing how she realized she was losing her hair and she decided to shave it off.
Right.
And the thing is, I understand that it's sensitive because women were sensitive about our hair, but I don't think it deserved a slap. I think it was just one of those things you're like, oh, whatever, and you just move on. Like, she gave the eye roll, and you think this is going to be the end of it.
So I came from the other side. So you're coming from the side of you already knew she had alopecia, and you did you take the joke as if she had alopecia, or you took it like she's just rocking a bald do, and he's saying G.I. Jane, the next role for G.I. Jane?
At that moment, I mean, I didn't know if Chris Rock knew she had alopecia or not. But it was just more like, oh, he's making fun of her bald head, whatever. You
didn't know he was making fun of. Did you think he was making fun of her alopecia though?
No. I'm thinking it was the fact that she had a bald head.
That's what I thought too. Well, for me, I'm coming from the other side. I'm coming from the side where to me, she's always had short hair. Actually, her most iconic times was when she had that short hair. So I thought that this was just another do. I saw her daughter had the same hairstyle. I thought it was just a journey with both of them. I think they did say that in one of the Red Table Talks as well. So I had no idea she had alopecia. I thought it was just another hairstyle. So
yeah, 'cause they usually do crazy stuff anyway.
Right. Yeah. So I wasn't thinking like that. And then when he said the joke, I was just like, yeah, haha. Yeah, she could be in that in G.I. Jane. And when she did the rolling eyes, I didn't take it as like. So some people are saying that. Okay, what do you when Will smacked Chris Rock? Some people are saying that it was Jada who is like triggering him to slap Chris Rock or something. Do you think that Jada's response was unwarranted and that she triggered Will into slapping Chris Rock? Or, you know, do you think it has something to do with his relationship as to why he slapped Chris Rock? Or like, what do you think triggered him?
So this is how looking back on what I saw, this is how I see it. Mm-hmm. So, because remember, he was laughing. Mm-hmm. So he was initially laughing, and then he probably took a good look at his wife and saw that she wasn't happy about it. Mm-hmm. And I think the number of things going on with the family. Mm-hmm. So think about how their relationship went public. Think about how, you know, the kids have been independent and wild since before they became adults, mm-hmm. right? Mm-hmm. And then the things that the public has been saying about them,
right?
Especially recently,
right?
So I think it was one of those things where to me, it was a mental breakdown.
Yeah, okay.
I believe that's what it was. I think. And first of all, when he went up there, I'm thinking he you know how they be playing. So
right. I think everybody thought that way too, as to why no security guard came up there or nothing. And even like Chris Rock had his hand behind his back. So I think it like so unassuming of him that people did not expect it. So people are saying that like he's never done this before.
He doesn't even curse in his rap songs. But all I personally know is I really do believe it was a mental breakdown.
What do you think broke him? What is because everyone is making fun of him and his situation with his family and his wife?
They're calling him a punk.
Because he's with Jada staying with Jada after the August Alsina thing?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, even though the relationship was open, but the way that it went public, right? And then like all their business being out there, and the fact that, you know, he really wasn't putting his foot down as a man. You know, like even the response, like the red table talk, he was asking questions, but he was just so emotional.
Right.
And, you know, like and me personally, I'm thinking like he was just faking the funk for the cameras. Maybe he cussed her out, you know, before or after. I don't know.
Right.
But you know, somebody else might look at it and say, "Look at this punk."
Well, I've been doing a little research on Will Smith and some of the stuff that he's been saying and what he's been doing, because it has caught my attention. Like, nah, this is kind of weird. Like, and I've been looking at certain things that's been happening, and I've been finding out information that I'm definitely going to get into in another video. But I'm wondering, is there a dark side of Will Smith that we don't know about? Like, you know, he talks about in his book that he's worn a mask and he's never taken it off. And I wonder, like, is there a side of Will that we don't know about that maybe Jada knows about, maybe other people know about, and we haven't seen it, and we finally got to see the other side that some people have gotten a glimpse of. And you know how they say, like, you know, your mask kind of slips as you get older, or it gets, you know, and I was wondering, like, do you think there is a possibility that there's a dark side to Will Smith that we don't know about, and it just kind of slipped that night?
I think it's a possibility, because I mean, we're talking about Hollywood,
right? It's a room full of actors, so
yeah, and he's been acting for a while,
right?
He's done a pretty good job in some scenes. So far,
he's an Oscar winner.
His acting chops,
right? Well, okay, there's people who are saying. So, who do you think is wrong? That's the question. Who do you think is wrong? Do you think Chris Rock was wrong for telling that joke? Or do you think that Will Smith was wrong for smacking him? Or do you think Will Smith was right for smacking him? He did, like, that Chris Rock deserved it.
Will was wrong for slapping him. Because there are so many things that he put on the line.
Yeah.
I mean, like, his career is in trouble, and his money is in trouble too, because I think he got a fine for that, right? And but at the same time, I'm saying he's wrong. But I mean, I don't know him. It's not like I know him personally, but there is a little concern there, like something's wrong with him. Because even the speech that he gave, you're like, okay, are you serious?
Yeah, he kind of tried to make it be like, yeah, it was very weird. Like, he was like, you know, I'm acting like the crazy father, and Serena's father had to come out and say, I don't hit people. And how he said he was trying to protect the actors and the actresses, and they actually looked shocked. Like, did he just say he's protecting me by smacking Chris Rock?
No, but what he should have done was take, like, I mean, I'm sure he didn't know if he was going to win or not. But let's say he didn't smack Chris Rock and he won the award.
Yeah.
Then he should have went to the stage and addressed the situation like a man, right?
Yep.
I would understand protecting your wife if she's in physical danger. But he just made a joke. Now, I'm not saying the joke was right or the joke was wrong, but the joke was expected because of the type of award show it is. They say, you know, jokes that kind of jazz. Some of the jokes are going to go below the belt.
They do.
You know? So, her being sensitive about it, the only thing he could have done was just comfort her, make sure she was all right, and then either confront him man to man,
right,
or use the proper platform to address it if it was that serious. But then what made it even worse was the fact that Chris Rock didn't retaliate. That made him even look worse.
It made him look worse. It did. And for me, as a person that watched it, at first it was so funny because at first I felt bad for Will. And I noticed, like, a lot of people were, you know, like, a lot of people felt bad for Will. But as the days progressed and the videos started replaying, it's like I started feeling more like, what the hell is wrong with Will Smith? Like, not in a good way, though. Not like, oh my God, I feel bad for him. I started to feel like, wow, he really pushed the line. And then the fact that he, you know, I was rewatching it and I saw that, like, after he smacked Chris, and Chris was doing like the documentary thing where he was trying to give the award for the best documentary, and the person won. Will Smith even got up, hugged the guy, and acted like nothing happened. I think the weirdest part is how much they acted like nothing happened after, and then how Hollywood responded to him, which was like, you know, giving him a standing ovation, hugging him. You know, it was just like, it was almost like how, this is how Hollywood is. Like, they have to, like, this is like the Harvey Weinstein situation, where they tended to, you know, love up on the person that just did something like very, you know, he's not Harvey Weinstein. I want to clarify that. But I'm saying, in terms of Hollywood, how they respond to someone who is a powerful figure. Because, you know, Will Smith is a powerful guy in Hollywood. He has his own production company. He has respect. He has accolades. He can blackball you in a second. And I kind of felt like, you know, they were afraid of being blackballed in there as to why they didn't, you know, have a stronger reaction to it. You know? What do you think?
Because you know what? Now that you brought it up like that, the funny part about it was, yeah, they were acting like nothing happened. But after the fact, that's when everybody was
after. I think because
everybody had balls, and either people were, and then you kind of saw this split, because you had people on Will's side, and then you had people that was against Will. But everybody just had everything to say after the fact.
They did. I don't know why they just suddenly switched on him, but I know for myself, as the days progressed, I started to see it differently. I first it was funny, and then after I kept watching it, and then I saw like the after party he went to and how people were playing his song, and it was just like, what the, I've never seen it so publicly. Like, okay, you did something so, yeah.
I didn't even see that part. Yeah.
Yeah, they played Getting Jiggy with It, and he was dancing with his family. I think if he had smacked him, took his award, and then was so upset, like, that he went home, then maybe. But the fact that he stayed, had an after party, did everything, did have all this fun stuff, and then when they threatened to take away his award, suddenly he released an apology, which made him look like you really weren't apologetic. You were more like you were actually celebrating that night. You felt good that night. And now that you have to, you thought you could escape the repercussions last night, and now that the next day happened and people are in an uproar, and now I honestly think that if no one else was in an uproar, I think that, the Oscars would have let it go. If it wasn't for people being in an uproar about it, I think they would have let it go.
No, now I see, because I agree with you. And matter of fact, when he accepted the speech, he apologized for his action, but he didn't apologize to Chris Rock.
Right.
He apologized to Chris Rock after the fact. So after everybody was starting to reprimand him, and they were talking about taking the award, and all that stuff happened, then he apologized to Chris Rock. And the thing about it, there was something else I was going to say. It'll come back to me.
Yeah.
No, it came back. So in America,
yeah,
because I was confused of what happened when it happened. So in America, they cut the whole thing was silent.
Oh, they silenced it. Okay.
They silenced it, and then you see his mouth moving. So I didn't know what happened.
Oh, okay.
Like you saw the slap, and you think, oh, he's playing.
It looked like a joke. Yeah.
It looks like a joke. But in the other countries was ahead of us. So I'm looking, and I'm like, let me look on Twitter. That's the first thing I'm looking at. And somebody that was somewhere on the other side of the world played the full version. And that's when I realized he was like, keep my wife's name.
Let me tell you, I had so much fun watching those memes and watching those videos. It was so funny to me, though. They were funny.
My God. Yeah, man, but
when they're like, keep Little Bill's name out your mouth. Oh my God, I was dying. Okay, I'm sorry. Back to it. Okay, so the next question I have to you is that, do you think the punishment was fair? So Will Smith got 10 years of not being able to go to any Oscar event, or he can't go to the Oscars, and he can't go to any related events to the Oscars for 10 years. However, he is still eligible for Oscars. So do you think the punishment fits the crime, or do you think it was too lenient? Do you think it was too much? Like, what do you think about it?
I'm kind of indifferent about it, to be honest with you. But I think there's other repercussions that's there, like the shame, number one, or like, let's say, because Chris did not drop any charges, but I heard rumors about being sued. But what if that happened? That would fit. You know what I'm saying? Or just the shame alone is mad. But you know what's deeper?
What?
And I hate pulling out the race card, because I'm not the type of person that talks about, oh, black this and white this, and I'm not that type of person. But all the things that, especially African Americans, that fought for. And, oh, we're this and we're not this, and going against stereotypes.
Right.
He basically put, the African American race a few steps back.
Yeah.
Now, thankfully, Chris Rock did not. And I think he probably was thinking about the black people when he did the white. especially the black man.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it kind of put us a couple of steps backwards.
So I'm glad you brought that up, because there's rumors that they want that the Oscars is asking for Will Smith to give his Oscar back. They're not requiring him to, but they're saying they would like him to give it back. And I feel like, why don't they ask Harvey Weinstein to give his Oscar back? Why haven't they asked Polanski to give his Oscar back? Why haven't they asked all these people to give the Oscar back? I noticed that when a black person who's played white, the moment they act black, or whatever we consider acting black, suddenly it's like, oh my God, oh no, we have to give them the worst treatment, or we have to ask for all these things because we let him into our society. We thought that he was safe. Yeah, you're black. You're angry, So, but I just noticed that there's a harsher tone towards him, and he's never really made a mistake, or at least in public. So I'm wondering, is it because it's the publicness that's causing them to want to respond so, much?
To be honest, now that you said that, I think David's just waiting on a reason.
Oh, waiting a reason for?
How can I put it? So it's good black man. He's not like the stereotypes.
Right.
Great, and then it's one mess up, it's oh, see, I knew it.
Yeah.
Waiting on a reason. I think they just didn't want us to protest again. That's and they wanted to see Black Lives Matter.
I mean, now that you brought that up, that was not one of our subjects, but have you heard about the Black Lives Matter and how the people who were running Black Lives Matter
was talking in the money?
Yeah.